and welcome to Balancing the Spectrum. Today, we will be talking about how helping others out of your own will, from your heart, can be perceived as problematic, being destructive, even though it comes from a good place, even though you are potentially helping that person, but in the moment, they probably don't see it as helpful. The reason I decided to make this a conversation was because the other day I heard the phrase that is overused, by the way, no good deed goes unpunished. My whole life, I understood this phrase. I didn't get it at all until the other day. The other day, I realized no good deed goes unpunished because no matter how much you try to help, no matter how much you want to help and you intend to help, and it just becomes a problem from whoever you're trying to help, especially when it comes from your loved ones. It can hurt, it stings when they react a certain way, and the more this happens, the more it makes us feel like we're the problem. And we end up gaslighting ourselves, to be honest, that we are indeed the problem and everything that happens to them is because of us. Uh, this is not the case at all. When you help your loved ones from a place of love, that's high frequency. Sometimes the results you were expecting weren't the results that were needed, but it still stands. You did what you thought was correct for them at the time. You may have even had communication with them of what they needed, and you based your help on that. You based it on what they said. And sometimes there's miscommunication, and we can base the help from what they say, from what they tell us. And it just, once you do that, it's not enough, or you're not helping because you're missing a little piece of information that maybe they forgot to mention, and it becomes a stressful situation where you're the one getting blamed for something going wrong in their life when all you did was try to help. And there are also situations where there is no communication at all. You should always have communication with the person you want to help. But when the communication is non existent, then that becomes an issue. And that's on us because we don't have that communication with them. So in those types of situation, what we do is what we think is right for them. not what they think is right for them. It could still potentially be beneficial to them, but they might not resonate with it, and that's okay. Um, because they know as an individual what they need, what they want, and us as separate individuals perceive it as in, oh, you're going through this, easy fix, I got you. And we think about what could be beneficial in our situation if we were in their shoes. And, well, a lot of the times when you don't have that communication, you end up injuring them. You end up hurting them, their feelings, their perspective, their ego. And this to us is like a feeling lost type of mentality. You probably think, I tried to do something good, but they're not receiving it quite well. Where did I go wrong? What did I do? This could have helped me if I was in that situation. And that right there is where we have to think, oh, okay, what would they need? Let me talk to them, see if they're willing to open up and talk about what it is they need. And then I can be of help. Um, so my advice to you is always have communication with the person that you want to help, because this is very important to not having that rejection reaction. They might reject your help and potentially blame you even further because they're already going through a um, situation that is theirs, and they might see you as an intruder or interfering or meddling. That would be the perfect word, I think. They will see you as a meddler. Uh, if you don't have communication. But sometimes, a lot of the times, even if you do have the communication with them, they will still see you as a meddler. And that's what we're trying to focus on today. When you have communication, you talk, you listen, and you're okay. Like, I know what you need and I can help. And you do it. And at first, it may seem like, yeah, this is gonna help them. This is good for them. And maybe at first, they're happy about it. Maybe. Maybe they're expecting the results to come in because your plan of action made sense to them. But then it may backfire because whatever it is that you did um, wasn't enough to get them to that point of feeling like they were being helped. And the key words here are guidance when you're helping someone, you're guiding them. You're not holding their hand. You're not doing the work for them, or at least you shouldn't be doing the work for them. Not completely, anyway. You pave their path, and it's up to them to build upon that path and continue on. Like, there can be a situation, just as an example. If somebody isn't technologically savvy, which I'm not the most technological savvy person that can exist, but I know enough to get around. But when someone doesn't have that knowledge that you do, you share it with them. And maybe it's just as easy as something as getting on a video chat, making a video call. It can be something like that. You help them, and you explain to them how to make a video call, and you show them, you go step by step, and um, the next time they try to do it, they can't do it because they didn't absorb the information needed to make a voice call. And they will react in a way like, you don't show me, you don't teach me, you just do it, and you don't care whether I can make a phone call or not, so I could keep relying on you. That might be their reaction. And this is where I go, hold on, I explain, and went step by step, and they're like, no, 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 no. You did not explain that. You did not tell me that. So there you go, explaining it again, showing them, and they still don't get it when they try to do it on their own. They come back to you because they know that you're willing to help. And it comes to a point where you feel blamed for them not learning. And, well, like I said, I'm not the most technological savvy person. My brother, however, is. And I don't like asking him unless I absolutely have to. If I already looked it up on Google, if I already looked it up on YouTube, and I still don't get it, or I'm not getting the information I need, and he may potentially have that information, I will ask. But I feel like I'm bothering him. And he does explain things step by step. And that's actually how I've learned to do a podcast in the first place. He helped me through it, managing the settings and everything. It did have to be repetitive because I wasn't absorbing the information. And he repeated the information, and it just got to the point where it was about practice. The more I practiced doing it, recording, adding different audios, effects, and it got to the point where it's second nature to me now, and I'm very thankful for my brother. So shout out to my brother, um, because it's thanks to him that we have a podcast. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what to do with all this, um, all these recording instruments and software. I wouldn't know what to do with it. And I just know the basics. I'm not an expert. And he helped me with what he could. And hold on, getting a little bit thirsty. Excuse me. So, yeah, I'm very thankful. And he has showed me the ropes. And I've learned to explore even further um, on my own and do things my own way. So that's what I'm talking about. When you help someone, you pave the path, and it's up to them to build upon that path on their own. And it can come to a point where the person you're helping or trying to help, from our perspective, it could be seen as ungrateful at first. Um, but then when it becomes a pattern and they keep blaming you, you're like, am I the issue? Am I the problem? Am I the one causing these problems in general? Not sticking to the example I just gave about technology, just in general. Am I the problem? We start to ask ourselves this, and we believe it the more we ask ourselves this question. Am I the problem? We start believing in it, and we don't create boundaries. Boundaries always and forever will I repeat, you have to create boundaries. In this case, when we don't create boundaries, uh, we enter in a state of submission. Like, yes, I'll help you because it's my fault that you're not learning and that you're not doing well in your situation. And it almost comes to a point of being a servant, but it comes out of our free will. So it's up to us to say, okay, hey, I can help you, but take it down a couple notches. You're speaking to me in an aggressive manner, and I'm happy to help, but don't talk to me that way. Don't blame me for your problems. Do not say that I'm the reason you're not learning, because I am willing to teach you and have, or guide you. I should say guide instead of teach. And just say, I'm not gonna be there holding your hand as much as I would like to, and it comes at no cost to me to hold your hand, but there will be situations where I'm not gonna be there because I can't be there. I'll be doing something else, or I have to focus on something that I'm working on. And um, it becomes a bit much. And yeah, we have to be careful of our word choices because they can come off as aggressive when you're in that state of like, hey, chill the fuck out. I'm just trying to help. If you're in that state of mind, breathe and say, okay, yeah, I'm willing to help, but here are my boundaries. I'll lay them out for you. And if they accept them, great. That's a great step forward. If they don't accept them, usually what happens is, oh, now you're putting conditions on top of not being able to help me properly. No, I'm not setting conditions for the help that I'm willing to give you. I'm setting boundaries on the way that you're asking for help or demanding help. I'm just setting those boundaries. Those boundaries are respected. I'll happily help you. If they're not, then it just becomes a cycle and there's bickering between us and the friction just builds more and more until we no longer are in a good place and we're in individual places emotionally, mentally, and even physically. In a lot of cases, you'll distance yourself because that type of environment became toxic for you. So you remove yourself, which is the best thing you could do when it's just a repetitive cycle. But the thing is that you offer help, they take it as control. You do it out of love, and they see it as manipulation. And when you finally pull away from trying to help or pull away because of the toxicity of the relationship, they think that you don't care about them. But no matter what you do, uh, they will make you feel like you are the problem. And you are not. You are not the problem. That's the first thing we have to admit to ourselves. We are not the issue. We are not the problem. When we're seen as a problem, okay, I'm the problem. I accept your perspective. So if I'm that much of a problem in your life, you don't have to worry. I'll just move along and you don't have to worry that I'll fuck up everything in your life anymore. Usually, this comes out in a reaction of, oh, so now, hold on. Now, what you're saying is that you are the problem. You're admitting you're the problem. And a lot of the times, it's nobody's saying you're the problem. You're just thinking you're the problem and playing the victim. Both of these scenarios can be scary because the first one is, yes, you are to blame and you're admitting it. The second one is you're a victim in your mind, and from my perspective, you're not being helpful and you're pulling back or even shutting down when all I ask for is help. And that's their go-to. All I'm asking for is help. I'm not asking for anything else. But in fact, this asking for help, when it's already a cycle, becomes an expectation. And they're no longer asking, even if they ask you, like literally ask you, can you do this? It becomes a demand because in their mind, you're willing to do it, you're gonna do it. And it's a scary place to be with someone that you love, someone that you trust, even. And it's like you can see the fracture in the relationship, and your mind might go to, like, at least for me, for people who are visual like I am, it's like I see it in my mind's eye, like little cracks that just start spreading out, and almost like a spider web effect, but just crooked and really messed up, like a shattered mirror. So when you see these fractures starting to happen, you visualize the whole mirror being broken. That's actually a good analogy. And once you see this, let's stick to the mirror analogy. You try to pick up the pieces, put them together, but see, this mirror is a symbol of your relationship. The individual relationship with the other person or multiple people. And it's not just your job to pick up the pieces and put them back together. It's also their job. So when you're doing it alone, picking up the pieces and putting them together, and they're just not fitting correctly, and you're trying to force it, you end up cutting yourself. And you're left with a wound, an emotional and mental wound that has you overthinking all the time and really believing that you're the problem at hand. But if all parties in the relationship come together and they try to put the mirror back together, and they're like, okay, this piece goes here with this piece, let's put it together. Okay, it fits and it's stable enough to stay together. What this is, in order to explain myself without the analogy, is when you have communication with the other person and creating boundaries for both you and them, and you accept the boundaries. You're like, okay, if we put our boundaries up and we respect them, this mirror will hold. If we don't respect it, it's just gonna fall off again. And in many cases, like I said, when you try to help, you are seen as an issue, and potentially they see it as taking control. Like I said earlier, you offer them help, they see it as control. When you do it out of love, they see it as manipulation. And if you start to pull away, they will see it as you no longer care about them or their situation or just them as a person. So no matter what it is that you do, you're the one that's to blame. You're the problem in their eyes. And that was actually worth repeating because we do talk about this blame that gets pushed on to you. And really, that blame comes from a place inside them. It could be trauma. It could be procrastination based on trauma. It can be them feeling desperate. It could be a million things. And when they don't heal those feelings within them, automatically they will seek what to blame, what situation or what person can I blame for whatever is going inside. And I have been in that situation where I was the one blaming people for everything that happened in my life. And it takes healing, or at least for me, it took healing my wounds, my personal wounds, in order to accept and acknowledge the fact that somebody is trying to help me. Untransactionally trying to help me. There's no transaction being made between me and them. They're just genuinely trying to help. Before I learned how to heal, I would blame people in my life, people who love me, people who care about me, even for things that didn't even have to do with them. But I would blame them. And really, it was just me trying to find a reason, or more appropriately stated, create a reason for whatever was going inside me that I couldn't deal with in that moment. And that's what these people go through. They don't know, or they don't want to know, where their inner wounds are coming from, where they're based in. So what they do is they deflect. And for me, dealing with these people, knowing that there's something in them that they're deflecting, because I've gone through that, I try to stay as calm as possible, even if it's very triggering for me. I'm doing better at that now than I have in the past. And it's basically just acknowledging their struggle. Even if you don't have a clear idea of what their struggle is, acknowledge that they are going through something. And just be like, okay, let it out. You can blame me all you want. Like, don't actually say that. To be clear, don't say that. Just in your mind, remind yourself, okay, blame me. Go ahead. Vent, deflect, project, whatever you want to do. Go ahead and do it. But what you should actually do is stay calm, relaxed, take breaths. It will help. Like, just take deep breaths. And if you're self conscious about somebody seeing you take deep breaths, or you know that it's gonna trigger them even further, for a lot of people, taking deep breaths, another person taking deep breath while they're on a rant or venting, projecting, deflecting, it can be triggering because you're trying to stay calm and their subconscious mind is saying, oh, they're better than you. They think they're better than you because they're trying to stay calm when you're up here being hectic and chaotic. So this to them is like, boom. And you get the very chaotic version of them. So if you're self-conscious, or you know that they will be triggered by taking deep breaths, there's a little trick I learned. You take a deep breath through your nose, feel it all the way to your diaphragm, just like this, and let it out silently. Usually, I would say take deep breaths and do this, what I'm about to do. But when you're in a confrontation and you need to keep your mind calm, like, it's hardly noticeable. See? Like, you don't notice it at all. It's still going all the way to my diaphragm and I'm letting it out. And the reason for this is not only so you don't trigger them, but or that you're self-conscious. It's so that when you get a chance, when they give you a chance to talk, you speak with calm in your voice. It's not aggravated, it's not insulted, and it's not that it's not necessarily that you don't show emotion. Um, like, it's my brain went dead there for a second. It's that you are staying in a neutral state while showing emotion, while showing compassion in your voice. Like, hey, I don't know why you're yelling. You shouldn't be this angry. We could fix the problem without anger. So, would you like to fix the problem? And a lot of the times they react with anger, more anger. But the trick is for us to be concerned about them enough to the point where you're taking care of yourself as well. Because you don't want to get triggered and come up to their level. And now that you're at their level, it becomes a competition of who's angrier. Who gets angrier? Me or you? No, I'm the angry one. No, 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 no. I'm the angry one. I'm the one that's offended. That's offended. It becomes very much a competition between inner conflict. So that's my trick. I'll pass it on to you. It works for me. It may not work for you, but I still think it's a good tip. And something worth trying the next time that you find yourself in a conflict, any conflict. It doesn't necessarily have to be what we're talking about today. It can definitely help you stay at that level and never reach their level. Otherwise, you clash. Just like that. And the more you clash, the more you start to shatter each other. And you end up wounded, they end up wounded. Both of you are in valid situations, but it never gets fixed. You're apart. Or not apart. You have different perspectives of the event, of the situation. So, bringing it back, no good deed goes unpunished. I finally understand that. I not only understand the phrase, I understand it. It's something that should not exist in our society. We're all human beings. We can all help each other without expecting help back. And if somebody else is helping us, don't be mad at them because something was missing or something ended up being wrong. Go within and be like, okay, what is it that I could do? They already guided me to a path that I can work with. Now it's up to me to build that path even further. And, well, when our ties are really close together, and I'm gonna end here real soon, but when our ties with that person that we're trying to help and they're blaming us, those ties become loose, as I explained earlier, to the point of being separate. And it comes to a point where our defense mechanism is to shut down emotionally. They try to come at us and it's like no comment, not even going to address the situation. And um, when you just shut down emotionally, you're blocking their energy from going within your energy, which is good when controlled. It's called boundaries. But when you shut them out completely, you just created an inner problem for yourself and for them. But for them, it will feel like you're neglecting them, rejecting them, not wanting anything to do with them at all, even though you care about them. But they will feel that way. And I'm not saying that everybody deserves to have the honor, the honor to be in your presence. And I don't say that like, oh, you're almighty. I'm just saying that as um, spending time with you, having quality time, having a healthy relationship. Both of you or all of you should be honored to have a relationship with people around you and be able to say, I have that, because a lot of people don't have that. So we should be honored. Um, and for the people who don't have that, we rarely ask ourselves, why don't they have that? Maybe it's what I was saying earlier. They shut down emotionally completely and distance themselves from their loved ones. And those people usually deal with abandonment issues, feeling judged all the time, self conscious, uh, having anxiety about getting to know new people because they don't know what that person's going to be like. And their brain has already been programmed to expect the worst. In other cases, people go through tragedies and they lose the people that they cared for, whether their loved ones passed away, whether they were abandoned, um, whether those people just lost uh, contact with each other out of nowhere. Not intentionally, unintentionally. And every situation will be different, but those people, we never ask ourselves, what did they go through? Or we rarely ask ourselves, what did they go through? Before jumping to the conclusion, oh, they're just emotionally unavailable. Or they are, uh, what's the other term? I forgot it. But emotionally unavailable, not being able to have a relationship because we jump to this conclusion because they have trauma. Um, and a lot of people, it's very stigmatized still, the word trauma. Um, a lot of people still believe that you have to have a very traumatic experience in your life to have trauma. Trauma is actually based on different factors of your life. In most cases, um, you could grow up in a household that was very toxic, and that was your normal, and you grew up to think that it is normal for people to shout at each other, fight with each other, hit each other. Um, and that is trauma in itself, because when you try to build a relationship, you're gonna expect fighting, shouting, mistreating each other physically, mentally, psychologically, emotionally. You're gonna expect that out of the people that you meet in life. And when you don't meet those people, when you meet kind hearted people, it's very foreign to you. You're like, no, you're not the person I want to talk to. You're not the person that I would like to have a relationship with, because you your way to go about having a relationship is toxic. And a lot of people do think that having healthy um a healthy relationship is toxic because they come from that trauma of expecting the worst. Um, but I guess all I'm trying to say in this episode is yes, um, you may help others out of love. You may help them because you just simply want to. You may help them because you feel like it's the right thing to do by the people that you care about. And you get this feeling of rejection in return. And when you blame yourself, um, it comes to a point where we have to ask ourselves, step away from the situation, first of all, mentally or physically or both. Step away from the situation and ask yourself, how am I the problem? Why am I the problem? What did I do to be the problem? If you can't find a valid answer to why you're the problem from somebody else's perspective, then baby, honey, you're not the problem. You're not the problem at all. And the only thing you could do is what we talked about earlier: stay calm, validate their feelings, validate um, or acknowledge that they may be going through something internally that they are not sharing, or that you know about, but you could see that they're just deflecting onto you. Maybe it's because you're in proximity. Sometimes that happens. You're the closest person, so they're like, it's you. You're the problem. Acknowledge that. Acknowledge that they're going through something. Stay calm. Be coherent with your words. And um always speak to them from a place of empathy. If you know what's going on in them, what internal struggle they're going through, don't bring it up. My advice is don't bring it up, because they will think, oh, I'm trying to blame you, but you're saying that what I'm going through is the problem. They will feel attacked. So don't bring it up when the emotions are high. Later on, when they calm down and they're in the right mindset, ask them about it. Like, um, say they're worried about a family member and they feel the impotence of not being able to be there for them for whatever reason it is. Be like, hey, how's your family member doing? And build on that response that you get. Like, oh, they're still going through whatever it is they might be going through. And um I wanna do something about it, but I don't know what to do. I'm stuck in my bubble and I can't seem to get out of it to be there for them. This is where you could step in, and it's your choice whether to be like, if you want, I could try to help wherever I can. If it's information that they need, if it's company that they need, I'm willing to be there for them. When you can't, when you do have time, you could be there for them, knowing that I've been there and I've talked to them, and I'm trying to help them by helping you, or vice versa. And of course, they're gonna feel like, but it's my responsibility. I have to be there for them. I'm the one that has to be there, not you. Uh, Maybe they will come off as aggressive, but a lot of times when they're in the right mind space, mental space, they'll be like, it's not really your responsibility. Um, but I would like to know how it is they're doing, um, what it is that they're doing or going through. So if you're willing to do that for me, please do so. Um, so that's where that you make your choice whether to do that or not. But you could also go about it and give them advice like, hey, you've been busy with yourself, you have a lot of things going on in your life, um, and then it's valid that you can't be there for them physically, but send them a message, give them a call when you have the time. Um, Send them a letter. It's old fashioned, but when you write something, usually you write from your heart, and it can be a lot more personal than just a text or a call. Even if they live in the same town or city as you, uh, a letter can be more personal. And in the letter, they can state, I've been very busy and a lot of things are going on. And uh, I thought that maybe writing a letter to you can serve as comfort uh, for my absence. But I will try to be there when I can and how much I can. If for some reason I'm unable to, please don't think that I don't care about you. I do. And um, you could also add in the letter, feel free to reply or send me a message through the phone, give me a call, and state if you've been really busy in life. Um, my motto is, if you're not working, if you're not at work, because at work you can't be on the phone, you can't be talking for a long time, um, because you have to focus on your work. So when you're out from work, yes, you'll be tired and you'll want to rest. But this is my motto. If you have the time to answer a call from someone that you love, prioritize them. Give them the priority. This does not mean that you have to allow them to uh, deflect onto you, and just make that clear. Again, create a boundary stating, I'll hear you out. Don't deflect onto me. Just tell me what's going on and work it out with them. When you try to work something out with them, you end up actually being of a lot of help to them because you're guiding them. When we come back full circle, you're guiding them to the right mental space. And again, just speaking in general, it could be something going on uh, within them. It could be health. It could be uh, physical, mental, emotional. It could be anything. It could really be anything. Just the best you could do is be of guidance. And if you notice, um, see how I transitioned from helping people and them rejecting it and blaming you to the person that is blaming you. Come down to a calm level, reason with them, and talk about their struggle and communicate with each other. And once that person is in the right mental state, when they've healed or are in the process of healing, they're willing to send that to somebody else. And it becomes a ripple effect. Helping others doesn't only help you, it helps others that you don't even know about because you're just genuinely helping to help, not to receive something in return. And with that being said, um, I thank you for listening to me about this topic. Um, I know it was very repetitive, but I kept going to different scenarios and explanations and different outcomes or reactions, etc. And that's the reason it became repetitive, um, to further explore different reasons and or different perspectives. But I thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. If you're still listening, for listening to the whole episode. But before you leave, please remember to follow me on my Instagram, which is Instagram dot my bad in balancing the spectrum dot pod. That's my Instagram. You could also, of course, follow the podcast and let it notify you. Click the notification bell or whatever it is that it tells you. And always feel free to message me on Instagram. Tell me about topics that you would like to hear, to engage in. And if you find it helpful, me being helpful, please let me know whatever it is you want to know, whether you need advice or maybe it's not even for you, it's for somebody else. And I'm willing to give advice. I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist, but I can give you advice based on my experience and my perspective. And also, my email is always open to receiving messages and letters as well, which is imbalancingthespectrum.podcast@gmail.com. But yeah, mainly on Instagram is where I do everything. And go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Hit the notifications button. And you will see on my bio as well. This just became long-winded. My bad. But you will see in my bio on my Instagram that I have a YouTube channel that you could follow as well. I also do book analysis or book reactions. I'm actually reading The Life of Pi for my enjoyment. I'm not publishing any of that, but I will continue to read The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, and continue to do an analysis of what I read from 2 to 3 chapters, depending on how much I read. And after I'm done with that book, so I've been wanting to buy Wicked for the longest time. I read it a decade ago, but my perspective then is different from what it is now. So I would like to read it as an adult, and I don't remember any other details in the story but my memory, as I've mentioned before, uh, comes through feeling. So I remember the feeling, and I remember it feeling queer coded. Uh, I remember liking both Elphaba and Glenda, um, but there will be more on that. I finally got my hands on um, Wicked and the other three novels that follow. The first novel was a gift from my brother, my sister in law, and her mother. So, thank you all for the book. And for my birthday, I gifted myself the rest of the collection. So, I will do um, reading analysis on them. For Wicked, I think I'm just going to do a review. But for the others, I might do an analysis, a review, or a review. We'll see. But thank you for tuning in, and until next time, always remember we are all living on a spectrum. Spectrum. Thank you, and have a great day, great night. Sending love to you.